Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the website that teaches you how to play guitar, banjo. This week is Mandolin week. We're learning a really fun fiddle tune on the mandolin this week. It's in the key of D. It's called Liberty. We better learn it while we still can, right? You know what I mean. But anyway, we're going to take this song and I'm going to teach you a very basic version to it. The first time through the A and B parts, we stick a lot of quarter notes in there just to get familiar with the melody. And then the second time through, we're going to expand that a little bit with eighth notes. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, here in a moment, I'll ask you to come over to the website where you're free to join as a Gold Pick member. And that means you can watch hundreds of lessons and download hundreds of tabs. For this lesson, it's about a 20-minute video lesson. Then I have the tabs in PDF and TEF file formats. Then I have 3 different speeds of MP3 rhythm tracks that you can download as a Gold Pick member and practice along with yourself. Okay? Well, let's give me some liberty or give me death. Let's jump right in. Let's learn a little Liberty on the mandolin. This one's in the key of D. I don't know if you have much experience playing in the key of D, but this is a really good one to help us get the lay of the land. It's a pretty basic version. It's a typical fiddle tune. That means it has an A part that's 8 measures long, and then it's going to repeat that A part. So same melody. The second time we go through it, we're going to beef it up a little bit. Then it goes to a B part that's 8 measures long, in which the melody and the chord progression changes, and then it repeats that B part again. So I'm going to teach you all 4 of those parts, but also give you a little intro and an ending for your pleasure. Now let's go ahead and throw up that first line of tab there. You'll see that the first 2 measures are an intro. We'll get into that, but I want to point something else out. You'll notice that beneath each one of the notes, there's these little black arrows, either pointing down or up. Well, if the note falls on a down beat, then I'm going to play it with a down stroke. It gets a down arrow. If it falls on an upbeat in between the downbeats, we're going to give it an upstroke with an up arrow. So it's important to keep those pick strokes correct. Now, as I mentioned, our first 2 measures are an intro, and we're going to give kind of a fiddle type intro. You've heard fiddle intros that sound something like this. Okay, this little shuffle pattern, some people call them potatoes. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get in a partial D chord. So I want you to put, with ring finger, play the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And then with your index finger, play the 2nd fret of that top string, 1st string. And we're going to play both those strings together. On the first beat, measure 1, that's a quarter note. But then on the second beat of measure 1, we're going to play 2 eighth notes down and up. And try on those upstrokes to play through both strings. So measure 1, it's that shuffle pattern, sounds like this slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we start to do that again in measure 2. We do it for 3 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and. But then on the 4th beat of measure 2, we're going to go into the song. It's got these 2 little pickup notes. And they start on the 5th fret of that A string. And then we play an open E string. Now measure 3 is very easy. We're going to get into really what this is. You know your open D chord shape. If you don't, I'll teach it over on the side. But with this open D chord shape, we're essentially just going to grab the top note of that. And this melody is really pretty. So it's going to start out on that 2nd fret up here, and these are just quarter notes. So we play 1 up there, then we reach down and grab the open A string on the 2nd beat, and then come back to it. And then measure 4, we've got a little melodic run there over the D scale. 2, 3, 2, open, 5, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let me play measures 1 through 4 slower for you. If this isn't slow enough, don't worry. I have a video segment later on in the lesson where I play the whole thing through much slower than this. Now this melody in measure 5 is going to kind of mimic that, but we're going to change chords. We're going to a G chord. And guess what? We're going to make an open G chord shape. So I want your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and then your index fingers will be on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And we're going to go back and forth between that 1st and 2nd string quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we come up and we're going to play a little G melodic lick here. We're going to start on the 3rd fret, measure 6, 3, 5, 3, 2, open. And then we have that same little pickup that we had at the end of measure 2, here at the end of measure 6. And then we'll go back to 7. We're going to have a repeat. 7 and 8 is exactly like measures 3 and 4. So we've already seen that. Let me play 5 through 8 for you. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now as we get into measure 9, we're going to wrap up this first A part. Okay? And we're going to do that with a really cool falling scale lick that's going to start on the 3rd fret,